at the World Cup of Darts in Wigan, defeating Dimitri van den Bergh 5-0 in the 9th event of the year. He's seen off George Gardner 5-1 in the final of event 10.
Ladies and gentlemen, first leg is Rob to throw first. Game on.
A wonderful day for the wall. A wonder wall.
And he is now top of the Development Tour Order of Merit.
Eventually the winner of this one takes
59.
on Simon Whitlock. Well, Cristo Reyes, if he is to go and earn his first PDT title, he might have to do it by beating major champions in every single round, because he saw off Robert Thornton
140.
6-5 yesterday, didn't he? In a match where Thornton fought back before being denied by the Tenerife Tungsten Tornado.
93.
You like?
Seeing the
43.
Van Gerwen family wander past our commentary position. He's got his parents, his wife and his daughter with him this weekend in Gibraltar. And he'll be on stage in the very next match. He's also got his best mate here, Dan. He'll be on stage with him.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be his best mate for the 11 legs that they could potentially play out here this evening.
137.
Michael Van Gerwen against Vincent van der Voort coming up. We've also got Peter Wright, the world number 2, in action against Michael Barnard. That's no gimme, in my opinion, for
100.
No, certainly not.
Standout tie for me of the evening is Mensur Suljovic against Adrian Lewis.
Yeah, all that, plus Mervyn King versus Chris Dobie, Paul Nicholson against Dave Chisnell. But this is the one that concerns us right now, and the world champion is looking at a checkout just over the ton. That's not a good dart. Yeah, rubbish, he says. Won't be too happy with that one either.
93. Chrissy require 84.
Well, 84 for Reyes. It's going to be one dart. And that's at double 11. Just checked himself.
Game showing the first leg.
And checked it out.
Second leg is Christo to throw first.
Early breaker throw. 1-0 to the Spaniard. Does have a victory over Rob Cross in the past, Cristo Reyes. In fact, their most recent meeting, which was only in April, Cristo won that in a last leg decider in Barnsley. When they met last year, it was won by Rob Cross.
140.
Both board finals, so the third round stage of those Players' Championship events that we see played out in Barnsley and Wigan and Milton Keynes.
58.
Rob Cross hasn't won one of those titles yet, but he is second only to Michael Van Gerwen in the averages list because he has been playing well. It's just been that little bit of magic that can transform you into a competitor and a semi-finalist or a finalist or a quarter-finalist. Just that right shot at the right time in a certain game that wins you that game, and then you may cruise past that, the next 2 rounds. But you might whitewash somebody in the final, but at some point in that day, you're going to need that little bit of magic. And he kept on producing it last year, produced it a number of times at the World Championship. It's just not quite been there this year. Not enough. But there were signs at the World Cup in a couple of his singles games where he really did look like he was playing just as he was last year when he was winning things left, right and centre.
81.
Maybe this weekend is a time when he starts laying down a marker and saying that I'm here for the rest of 2018.
Famous World Championship campaign. It illustrated
39.
both of those factors, didn't it, quite beautifully, because he had the bit of magic on plenty of occasions, but he also had the bit of luck on plenty of occasions too.
Well, two obvious ones I can think of when he survived match darts. The only player ever to have won a World Championship surviving match darts in 2 separate games.
59.
Michael Smith and Michael Van Gerwen. And he was also troubled by Dimitri van den Bergh.
And it was those little bits of magic in the deciding set against Dimitri van den Bergh. He had back-to-back checkouts. Not enormous ones, but, you know, in the sort of 80 range. The ones that win your games. We've said it loads of times. You may only get 1 dart at a double, or maybe at the bull, but it's got to go.
100. Christy require 154.
This might go. Not now, and Rob Cross in Rob Cross range.
He was in Rob Cross range in the first leg and didn't get a
98.
dart for the leg. And again,
Uruguay,
these are the
110.
sorts of ones that win you games. Or conversely, lose you them.
Right shot at the right time. Usually that
58.
portion of the board that's got an 18
56.
above it is Rob Cross' best friend. Double and treble.
Yeah, shot on the second leg.
But
Cristo
so
Reyes.
far, it's Cristo Reyes
Third leg
that's
is
taking
Rob
his
to throw
chances.
first. Game on.
Well, 109 checkout and 110 checkout for Rob Cross in consecutive legs, and he's not got a dart for the leg in either of them. Now you would expect him to have at least a dart in one of them, wouldn't you?
180.
I think he might get a dart in this leg. There is the Cross clan
96.
management team and wife. Now then. He's dropped a dart. After 5 perfect ones in the treble 20.
140.
Had he not dropped that dart, he would definitely be on the 9.
Roby John Rodriguez was on a 9 darter against his brother.
180.
Rusty.
Yeah, Rusty Jake. Wired double 12, I believe,
Oh.
in the quarter-final of the development tour.
Yeah, he's then beaten by Martin Schindler in the semis.
57.
But Schindler is beating everybody. Schindler Uber Alice in Wigan today.
Well, didn't get a dart from 109.
140.
Didn't get a dart from 110.
Uruguay,
How about
124?
124? Because if he doesn't, Cristo Reyes could even get 2.
That 18 segment. Fails to hit it again. He can't understand it. It is his best bit of the board. Treble 18, double 18.
44.
He just owns that when he's playing well.
85.
Well, look, 5 perfect darts to kick off this leg, but Cristo Reyes has had a very decent leg himself. Very,
Yeah, he's on the
very
third leg.
decent.
Cristo
A dozen
Reyes.
dart break, and Cristo Reyes
Fourth leg is
is
Cristo. to
running
throw
away
first.
with it.
Game on.
Can he cross the line against Cross?
Well, it's one of these weird games here where they're only averaging in the 90s, these two. Cristo Reyes has had a 15 darter, a 12 darter, and a 20 darter. So he's had an average
44.
leg, a really good leg, and a pretty poor leg. But in every single instance, Rob Cross has been there or thereabouts playing exactly the same level, but not being able to finish off. And the difference it has been the finishing.
140.
84, 56, and 85, all taken out by Cristo. And he's 3-0 up with a double break. And having seen the defending champion dumped out
55.
already tonight, the world champion might be joining him in double quick time. Hasn't even had a dart at double yet. Had plenty of opportunities.
134.
Have a look at 109, 110, and 124, and not got a single dart at double. Any one treble in the first 2 darts of any of those visits, and he would have had darts for the
58.
leg. He's not been able to produce it. And that's a concern.
$60.
It often does throw up some surprise results, this tournament. I mean, last year we saw Magnus Karris and Darren Johnson both in the quarterfinals.
99. Robbie Uruguay, 167.
Suggests that Cristo Reyes is a man who,
Would be less of a surprise.
yeah, but against the world champion Rob Cross, now he's going to get a dart.
136.
He'll get one from the smaller combination finishers, but managed to get one at the bullseye from 167. However, it'll only be 2 when he comes back. So Reyes with a treble here can leave a finish and an outside shot.
60.
Couldn't do
Robbie
that.
Uruguay,
And Rob Cross
31.
could get as many darts as he fancies. Only one of them will be important, and finally get him a leg on the
Yeah,
board.
shot
And
the
it is a
fourth
break
leg,
of
Rob
throw.
Cross. Fifth leg is Rob to throw first. Game on.
And that was bang in the middle of the double 8 as well. He will feel a little bit better about things. And he does have this ability, Rob Cross, when his back is to the wall, that he finds some gears.
140.
And he can go through successions of legs where he'll hit maximums in all of them, or 177s or 174s or whatever. Big scores. And then start taking out the checkouts. You can put a run together quite easily.
60.
Go 14 darter, 12, 14, 12. And just take your opponent out of the game unless they're throwing 12 darters back at you. And sometimes even then it's not good enough. It's the kind of stuff that Gary Anderson does, kind of stuff that Michael Van Gerwen does on a pretty regular basis. That's why Rob Cross is up there in the averages on the Pro Tour. That's why Rob Cross is a world champion.
140.
Cristo Reyes has the game to beat any of the top players. We saw him produce a fabulous performance against Michael Van Gerwen at the Worlds.
A world record that stood for 9 days?
A couple of rounds, yeah.
Yeah.
Before Raymond van Barneveld averaged 109. Was it 109?
109, yeah, the highest losing average ever seen at a World Championship, beating the record set by Cristo Reyes of 105 just a few days beforehand. To be honest, Cristo, it's probably a record that Cristo was quite happy to have taken off him.
Reyes also has beaten Rob Cross. Level head-to-head record.
100.
A win for Reyes coming this year in April. 6-5 on the Pro Tour. But there aren't many players that have that good a record against Rob Cross.
Well, that's it. He's not been around very long, and he's beaten everybody.
Well, I had a bit of a trivia with our referee Kirk Bevans. He got none of these answers, by the way. Now, you might have more knowledge than the calculator. There are only 3 players that Rob Cross has played more than once and not beaten.
121.
I think I know one of them.
Let's see if you're right. But after this leg, because Reyes wants the bullseye to restore a 3-leg lead.
Not a million miles away. Now the 72. He doesn't need a treble for this. So even big numbers mean that Rob Cross gets a dart. And it's double 16 the target. Usually so strong in this area of the board.
56. Cristo require 25.
Cristo Reyes with a superb opportunity. Can he take it? Double 4.
Yeah, he can. Leg, Cristo Reyes. Sig leg is Cristo to throw first. Game on.
Or did you get them at home, Dan? The one you think you know?
I think it's from his days on the Challenge Tour. And I believe that this guy beat him in one of the finals and also beat him once as well. It is the hero from Stourbridge, Nick Fulwood.
60.
But spot on.
Oh, get in.
With the hardest of the 3 to get.
Michael Van Gerwen has a winning record against him. Surely.
134.
All 3 players, his record.
Oh, but he hasn't. But he hasn't beaten. That's the question.
Yeah.
Oh, right,
all three players. It reads 2-0.
Oh, there's another one. Who is it? Richard
134.
North.
Doing very well.
But I couldn't tell you the last one.
As Meatloaf would say, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. It's Corey Cadby.
Ah, very good. Very good.
137.
Also, he's got a 0 wins and 1 defeat record at axe throwing as well as chucking darts.
95.
All right.
Might have seen it at the dart show, Chris.
Who was he doing that with? Some madcap presenter.
Yeah, it's so wacky bonkers, eh?
108.
Now, he might have to go bonkers over the next 5 or 6 legs, Rob Cross, if he's going to turn this around. It would be bonkers to take out a 10 darter here.
121.
Do it, Rob. You're here to entertain us. Entertain, man. Oh.
Well, is it the 18 this time? That could be tricky. Having to move across.
Game on the 6
Cross
leg.
finds the target.
7-legged Rob to throw first. Game
finds
on.
himself pegged back once again.
That's a bit of a snarl there from Rob Cross as well, wasn't it?
Aggression.
Well, Robert Thornton caused Cristo problems when
81.
it looked like Cristo was sailing towards victory, and it all got very tight and tense. Cristo ended up winning that one in the last leg decider.
180.
100th 180. Possibly the best.
Looked good, didn't it?
95.
Well, ridiculously, we've had 6 legs here, and 5 of them been breaks of throw. So throwing first seems to have absolutely
60.
no advantage in this game.
Both men, of course, fresh from the World Cup of Darts, where Rob Cross made his debut. Captaining Team England with Dave
134.
Chisnell, who we're going to see in a couple of matches' time, taking on Paul Nicholson.
57.
Cristo Reyes, another team captain for Spain, alongside his good pal Tony Alcinas in Frankfurt.
123.
Well, is this the Rob Cross move? Is he putting on the afterburners?
Let's not forget Reyes started this leg with that eye-pleasing
96.
180.
Robbie requires 68.
Look away now, Cristo, because Rob Cross is clawing his way back into the contest. Double 16 to move within 1 for the first time
52.
since leg 1.
Christie require 108.
Couldn't find it.
Yeah, heartbreaker this one.
Rob Cross is looking across to his team
76.
there and grumbling about something.
Robbie requires 16.
Not sure what it was. But his anxiety as well, they won't be eased much by that dart. It's a good one, but it's so close that it's made him move across a good couple of feet to the right. And that means his throw has to be a different weight, and that's caused him problems.
Christie
And now
32.
Cristo Reyes has the chance to edge closer to the checkered flag.
Yes, on the 7th leg, Christo Reyes. 8th leg is Cristo to throw first.
Cristo celebrating with a big Spanish finger pointing at that double 8. So just pointing out to everybody here, that's in. That's 5-2. Rubbish again, the verdict from the world champion.
Oh, superb stuff. Right shot, right time.
180.
Go on then.
140.
Can't match Cristo. Cristo can't match the previous visit.
60.
Perfect.
140.
One treble would leave the finish. A couple would leave him perfectly poised.
140.
Ton in front of the world champion, who may hit
105.
but has to hope.
He require 121.
Good board management there from Rob Cross. Left a slightly easier finish than his opponent, who does not get a dart at the ball.
57.
But he's not been taking these finishes out, has he? His highest checkout in this game is 50. That could change. 18 segment. And this time it comes to his aid. It is another 12-dart leg from Rob Cross. He pulls one back. It's another break of throw. We've only had one hold in this entire game. Rob Cross, when he's got it right, he's got it very right. 12-darter, 12-darter, and a 14-darter.
41.
But there's just been too much lax stuff. Not enough killer instinct. Those checkouts around about the 100 mark, which he gobbles up when he's playing his best, they've not been
58.
going until just then. And has he left it too late?
Well, that double 18 is something he often relies on. It comes to his rescue, doesn't it, at times? And it has again. Rob Cross, in fact, he has got
134.
an interesting approach towards practice. He says that he only really practices on 3 segments of the board. 20s, 19s and 18s, because they're the ones he's going to use. So when he goes for shots,
121.
for example, like 161, he doesn't involve the treble 17 because it's not a segment he aims for very often. Just trying to become as close to perfect as possible.
93.
Highest scoring 3 trebles.
Well, he seems to have a similar approach to double 18 as Mensur Suljovic does to double 14. Obviously, it's a favourite of his, but he doesn't use it all the time. It's not every single time he'll go to it. He'll go to it under pressure in a shot that he has to go because he feels confident. And you wonder why they don't go for it more.
Yeah,
but
a different time in this match, or
60.
in another match, he may have gone 16 tops after
Yeah.
that first start.
But Mensur says that he knows it's there when he needs it. And of course, the problem is with double 14, if you do miss inside, it breaks down awkwardly.
100.
Similar with double 18. But if it's got to go right then, that's the one that he'll go to. And similar with Rob Cross on the double 18.
Cristo Reyes has left a check out here.
99.
A huge
Victor
one.
167.
It would literally be a showstopper for Rob Cross because his show would be over.
$78. Robbie requires 74.
Show go on. 74 required.
Well, he's not been winning the scrappy legs, Rob Cross. As I say, a couple of 12s and a 14 darter. It goes over 15 darts. It ain't happening. Is it happening? Because he's left it again. A crunch double 18. And we have come to the crunch.
Game shown the ninth leg. Rob Cross. 10 leg is Krister to throw first. Game on.
Knowing you can always count on me. Rob Cross and double 18. That's what friends are for.
93.
And he's come to count on it, and twice in as many legs. It hasn't let him down. Cristo Reyes will just be thinking this should have been a little easier.
96.
Having led 3-0 and 4-1.
He had a look at 121 for the match. He had a look at 167 for the match.
135.
But he has not yet had a match dart. This is the leg where Cristo really needs to get the job done. Because Cross is mounting a stirring comeback here.
108.
And it might be happening.
Reyes forced into battle.
100.
But he hasn't left a check out, and Rob Cross should leave some kind of finish from here.
Failure of maths, do you think that? Could have got down to, with the use of bullseye, 25. Could have got down to a 170.
139.
Become embroiled. And maybe affecting him mentally as well. Because you just get the feeling that the tungsten tide is turning if it hasn't already turned in the favour of Rob
We
Cross.
require 86.
If he takes out his 86, he will have the darts in a deciding leg.
The 18 segment is working now for Rob Cross. It had abandoned him in the early part of the game.
He joins in with the collective ooze from the crowd because that
11th and final
was
leg
close
is
to the
Rob
double,
to throw first.
but now the match
Game on.
could not be closer. He had looked like a Cristo Cruz, but Cross has clawed his way back into contention.
3-0 down.
He's the favourite for the tie.
Yeah, 3-0 down, 4-1 down, 5-2 down.
100.
And Rob Cross has somehow found a way to drag this back to parity. And look at that. From 4-1 down, he's had winning legs of 12, 12, 12.
60.
And granted, that scrappy 18 dart leg. However, it still finished with a 74 checkout on double 18. Rob Cross, well, he's going to run away with this now, isn't he? Isn't he?
140.
His average has been climbing and climbing over the last 4 or 5 legs, and it's up to 98. Now, if he'd been throwing 98 right the way through this match, you'd be saying, oh, this is a very solid Rob Cross performance. Not his best, but it's solid. Bearing in mind how unconvincing he was at the start of this game, it is that run, that ability to chuck in good leg after good leg after good leg
100.
that Gary Anderson and Michael Van Gerwen and the top players are able to do and they reel in your opponent, and Christo must be feeling all kinds of pressure now.
Well, he had to fend off the fight back from Robert Thornton yesterday.
Rob Uruguay, 161.
So this could be one Rob too many for Cristo Reyes. And we mentioned the routes that he goes, using just 3 trebles.
93.
Not going to do it in sensational style, but it is a breathtaking comeback, this, isn't it?
Incredible comeback. And it's all hinged on the 18 segment, hasn't it? He was missing it. He was missing it entirely. He wasn't hitting the double or the treble when he wanted it.
108.
That keeps Cristo in this.
Rob Uruguay, 68.
Well, I think he'd be praying, because Rob Cross hasn't been missing for the last couple of legs. Doesn't miss a treble. It's next to his favourite double. Double 2.
Game shot.
And there is
the match. Rob
any more
Cross.
twists in the tail. A fight back from the world champion Rob Cross. A slow start of Cristo Reyes threatened to run away with it, but Rob Cross raced back into the tie and overturned deficits of 3-0, 4-1 and 5-2. He defeats Cristo Reyes, who heads back to Tenerife. The world champion Rob Cross heads through to the 3rd round of the 2018 Gibraltar Darts Trophy. He'll be back in action tomorrow, and Rob Cross will take on Simon Whitlock, the Australian. We'll be back in a few moments' time with Vincent van der Voort against the world #1 Michael van Gerwen, after we've heard from Rob Cross talking to Dan Dawson.
Well, you can come and tell me how you got away with it, Rob. Well, Tuff, you're going to have to do better than that as an answer. You come here. Rob, that was a sensational comeback. 3-0 down, 4-1 down, 5-2 down, and it was the treble 18 segment, was it? It started being hit by you, the trebles and the doubles.
Yeah, I love the treble 18, so it's probably my favourite. I wish I could hit treble 20 like that. But, no, it was weird. You come out and sort of obviously 3-0 down, and the way I feel at the minute, I feel great. You know, I'm practicing really well, and then all of a sudden I come out here and I throw a bag of nails. I can't answer that, but I can promise one thing: I'll get better for the rest.
How hard is it to keep on top of your frustrations when you know it's not going the way you want, you're not bringing your practice game on the board, but to be able to find that extra level, those gears to move through?
Yeah, I think I always felt I could win that game, even 4-2 down or 5-2 down what I was, and a couple of 12s on his throw, and then we put ourselves in the game. It's weird, isn't it? Because sometimes it's not there, but at the minute I feel it's there. It's crazy.
Well, if it is there, this man could well pick up his first European Tour title this weekend here in Gibraltar. The world champion, Voltage Rob Cross, safely through to the final day.